all day. Yeah, this is it. Play ball all day. Yeah. Uh-huh. Crazy dog. We can't just let me have the ball. We gotta fight about the ball. We gotta have a fight. We gotta actually make this intense. A little bit hard. Can't just like, okay, here's the ball. Gotta make a battle. Border collies. What? The ball's over there, I'm over here. What happened? Are you done? Okay then, rat tail. I guess we're done. Okay then, we got the wiring fixed on the combine, so turn the key on. Well, there we go. I might need a new key switch. Key's on, you can hear the pump running. Okay, I had it confused. I thought this was the choke. This is the throttle. This is the choke. Alright, we're gonna take her for a drive. Hopefully. we got 10 pounds of oil pressure, if that gauge works. We got, I know that one don't work. So this is my throttle, this is my choke. I keep forgetting, I keep thinking this is a choke on this side, so that's why we had a bad start. The old engine sounds pretty good. Not too bad. The key switch works. So I had to do a little rewiring. I've got starter button works. I had to run a new power wire up because it had rat had chewed it up pretty bad, and then I ran wire back to the coil and to the fuel pump, feeding it. And so runs, moves, steers, brakes work. Hydraulic system works, except until you try to lift the blade, or the blade. It's not a dozer, Frank, it's a combine. The header, and we may put a blade on it. Anyway, blew a hose out here. It's a short one. You can see where it's leaking there. Still a little pressure on it, but it did need oil. So we got that oiled. We do have an oil leak on the front main seal on the engine, and also the gasket on the governor is not in good shape. So the gasket on the governor I'll probably try to fix. I'm not sure how bad this is going to be a problem. Yeah, we still got pressure on that one. Anyway, we got a long way to go to harvest wheat. This is just the beginning. This is just, you know, we're not even close. I still got to build new arms for all the bats in the reel. And here's my thought. What do you guys think? Should I use wood or should I use angle iron? Let me know if you have a source on these, because I can't find a part number on them. My book doesn't show them. They're probably common, they're probably available. This is a 14-foot header. This reel bat has been beaten up pretty badly, but I think I can get it straight enough to run. This one looks really good. It's still on the, mostly it's still on there. The sickles, it's probably good enough to cut wheat. I am missing a block here, so if you know of somebody that has one of these, looks like that, has 2 bolts. This has got 2 broke off bolts. So if you know of one of those, let me know. I may have to try to salvage yard or something like that. Belts, we're going to run them till they break, and then we're going to have to replace them probably, which some of them are better than others. So this is me and the Gleaner. This combine has been out here for years. I didn't know what to do with it ever. We've got a direction, we've got a purpose, we got some wheat to cut. We got to get it running. Not just running, we've got to get it threshing. We got to get it cutting wheat. We got to get it putting clean grain in a bin and chaff out the back. So this is another belt. Main drive belt, it's pretty rough. This one, obviously this one is in pretty good shape. This one had been replaced right before I ended up getting a hold of this combine, so that one's in good shape. We have several chains, several bearings like this that go through, and this one and that one. There's a lot to go wrong. Will it? I don't know. Will it make it through 7 acres? I don't know. Will it make it through a half a round around 2 acres? I don't know, but we're still oiling that chain. Hydraulic system, I think, is good. I did lift the header off of the stop. Of course, header went up, line broke, header went down. That was it. Variable speed, it also runs off of this line here. Obviously, this is not a high pressure system because we have a hose clamp on a barb on a hose. But that hose, I'll show you, it goes around to the variable speed. And earlier today when I was driving it, I didn't have my camera out, I was just trying to get stuff done. So what it does, there's a cylinder inside of this sheave. So whenever you push the lever forward to give it more speed, it actually closes this gap, which in turn makes this pulley bigger, and it opens the gap here, and it makes that pulley smaller. So you got variable speed between gears. So you got first gear, you can go from low, which we're in right now, all the way up to high in variable speed mode, and then you shift to second, you can go from low up to high, and the same way with third for road gear. So this system is pretty much identical to a side-by-side CVT transmission you got on your Polaris Ranger or whatever, other than it's not speed sensitive. It doesn't care how fast this is moving. It cares how much oil pressure you put to here to change that speed. So you can change that speed depending on crop conditions or whatever. So there you go. A little bit more about the Gleaner. Gleaner A with a John Deere rim, 14-foot grain head, lots of rusty chains, lots of rusted bearings, and probably will be a fire before it's over, but we'll see how it goes. We used to cut wheat with stuff not much worse than this, so shouldn't be a big deal. Just another grain harvester, right? Anyway, the old A16925, Alice Chalmers, that is a 230 cubic inch engine, runs really well for all it's been through, setting for so many years. Had a rat nest in the exhaust, spit most of that off out of the exhaust the first day I started it, and so I've put in an electric fuel pump, I've rebuilt the starter. The cool thing about it right now is I can come out here, turn the key, choke it, and start it up. Drive it back up to the shop, work on it, drive it back out here and park it. So that was a big deal. I got also today I built a mount for the alternator. It's not much to look at, but it works. Basically just a flat plate, a couple of ears, holes drilled through them. So now we actually have a fan blade that spins the water pump. I do not have antifreeze in it yet. I'm gonna probably flush everything out. I've just got water in it right now. I want to get it warmed up, flush it out. I want to change the oil in it, and this part will be hopefully good. You can see I'm getting a lot of crap out of the gas tank, so I'm gonna probably have to monitor this quite a bit. That was clearer this morning, not so much clear now. This is sediment. This is sludge, basically. So that's the stuff that's coming out of the gas tank. If that hits the carburetor or the fuel pump, I'm probably in trouble. So I may end up having to clean this fuel tank completely out. I don't know. I'm hoping I can just kind of do this clean it out a bit at a time. Gas is still flowing out pretty freely. It does have a strainer filter in here. Also have a filter in this pump. Now this probably won't pass that, so I've got to keep an eye on that. So that could be a big issue when I start actually harvesting. This is not going to work, so that's disappointing to see. Anyway, I got a long way to go. I got a big job ahead of me here. I think I can do it, but we'll see. Another thing are belts. You know, there's belts that drive this pivot shaft and drive chain. The cylinder is actually up in the feeder house on this combine, so that belt, these are belts that actually get a lot of pressure, a lot of load on them. And I've got a problem here with the throwout bearing on the separator clutch. This is supposed to be engaged. I need to build some wood blocks, top and bottom. Let me know what kind of wood I should make those out of. I'm not a carpenter, not a combine carpenter. Roxy actually got a grooming a couple weeks ago, and you can see well, her hiney's showing. We couldn't do nothing with that hair. She's never been groomed, but she's looking better than she has in a long time, so I guess she's happy. Anyway, the Gleaner, it lives. Hopefully it lives to see a few more acres harvested. Okay, on the Gleaner, you can see some of the sludge that we got out of the tank. It's still got some in it. So here's my solution. I'm gonna see if this will work. So I added this brass tubing into the top here, about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. I just kind of drilled this out and made that fit. But that way I won't be sucking fuel off the bottom of the tank, if that makes sense. So I'm hoping this will buy me time, not have to pull the fuel tank off. I don't really want to, I know I could do it, but I don't really want to right now. Hope you understand that, but you know, there's funner things to do than mess with cleaning out a gas tank. So that's my plan. I'm gonna let the sludge live a little longer in the tank, and hopefully I can cut my wheat with, you know, I just hope I'm fixing the problem, not making it worse. But I know it's kind of a, you know, kick the can down the road deal, but I'll have to deal with it at some point. So we'll get some gas in here. I know this looks like a diesel can, but it's not. Alright, working on the Gleaner again. Dropped it. I figured out a new way to dull a drill bit. I didn't have an 1 3/8 Forstner bit, so I used a hole saw. What I'm making is the bearing here. This is the lever that engages your separator clutch. So those was rotted out. I've got a new one made for up there. I got to put those on, and that way you can push the lever out to engage this separator clutch. Pretty simple clutch. And yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. And then when I get that done, Then I'm gonna look at maybe trying to ease this thing over. Try to get the thresher moving. Now, I may have an issue in the sieve in the top one. I think some people call it a Schaefer. I always called them both top and bottom sieves, but that was the way I was taught. But anyway, may or may not be right, I guess. But I'm gonna grease everything. I've been putting a little oil in the bearings with just penetrating type seafoam spray, that kind of stuff. Chains they're rusty, but you know, they're not really worn out. Kind of where I'm at today on it, just kind of a little update. This thing starts and runs real easy now. Just got my fuel bowl modified, and the fuel's still clear so far. Anyway, more good times with the combine.